But with yoga, it connects to an entire lifestyle, right? So yoga not only shapes your body physically, but it transforms your mental, and it really allows you to grow into who you are as a person, to be a better person. So what you see on social media, it's beautiful, it's great to see like what the body can do, but when you really tap into yoga fully, it transforms your life, right? Because mentally, it helps you grow. It teaches you patience. It teaches you to understand detachment and honoring and respecting other people and just different lifestyles. It's a culmination of a lot of different things and not just movement.
Today on Be the Model Atlanta, we're here with the beautiful Miss Chantana, aka the Painted Yogi, certified yoga instructor, artist, entrepreneur, painter, and a whole lot more. Thanks, Chantana, for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
All right, we appreciate you. So how's Atlanta life treating you?
Atlanta life is treating me amazing. I can't complain. I've been here almost 10 years and it's been great.
Nice, nice. So you were basically grew up in Atlanta?
I grew up in Cleveland, Ohio. I went to school in Virginia, and then I came to Atlanta afterwards.
Okay. So go on and tell us about yourself. Tell us who you are. You know, give us a little background information about you, and how did you get into painting, yoga, etc.?
Yeah. So like I said, I grew up in Cleveland, Ohio. I left pretty young. I left at 17, kind of was just on my own after that. When I came to Atlanta, like a lot of young 20-year-olds, like you're trying to find yourself, figure out, you know, what it is that you like to do, your niche. And I found yoga randomly, just like went to LA Fitness, wrong time, wrong class, thought I was going for something else. I ended up going into a yoga class. The first class I ever took, I loved it, I was hooked. And from there on, I just continued to build my practice. Going to yoga like once or twice a week, or like doing YouTube videos for yoga. And then after that, I was like, okay, I think I want to actually be a yoga instructor. And I left Atlanta for a little bit. I lived in Asia, and when I was in Asia, I practiced yoga every single day, like religiously. And when I came back from Asia, I kind of had a little bit of traveler's depression, but yoga brought me out of my traveler's depression. So when I got back to Atlanta from Asia, I really was like, not happy to be back in the States, like was a little bit like of a recluse to myself, but I found a yoga studio and got back into my practice, and that literally like pulled me out of my traveler's depression. And from there I was like, okay, I'm really gonna get certified.
Got you. And with yoga, we hear about yoga, we've heard about yoga is kind of like in style now. There's a lot of people doing yoga. What exactly like is yoga for someone who didn't know, who was just like wondering what is yoga, and how does it help the body or the mind, the spirit, you know?
So what you see nowadays, right, with social media, you see the poses of yoga, right? Okay. But there's so much more to yoga outside of just what your body can do. So much more than just the asana is what we call it. Gotcha. So the asana is the movement of yoga. But with yoga, it connects to an entire lifestyle, right? So yoga not only shapes your body physically, but it transforms your mental, and it really allows you to grow into who you are as a person, to be a better person. So what you see on social media, it's beautiful. It's great to see like what the body can do. But when you really tap into yoga fully, it transforms your life, right? Because mentally it helps you grow. It teaches you patience. It teaches you to understand detachment and honoring and respecting other people and just different lifestyles. It's a culmination of a lot of different things and not just movement. Yeah.
Okay. And so basically the movement is learned through, basically the teachers have given us different motions and different movements to do, or there's certain like breathing practices?
Definitely. There's a lot of different breath work when it comes to yoga, whether or not you are in a meditative class, if you're in a fast-paced vinyasa where it's breath to movement, or if you're in like a yin class, right? Like the breath work is going to vary depending on what type of class you're taking, as well as what type of movements you're doing. But breath work is important, right? Because you want to make sure that when you are practicing yoga, that your breath is connected to the movement. And if you are in meditation, then you really want to tap into your breath, because that's what's really important when it comes to meditation.
Got you.
Yeah.
So yoga also helps with the body, the look. Because most yoga instructors I've seen, you guys look like you guys are in shape. I mean, do you do like other workouts as well?
Yeah. I work out in the gym regularly. I don't love the gym. I don't know many people that do. But I mean, I work out regularly. But yoga is for everybody, right? Like you see a lot of people on social media that look a particular way. Yeah. But yoga is for everybody. Like literally, no matter what shape, size, color, background, it's for everybody. It's just that social media really like emphasizes a particular type of body, but I really try to encourage people that yoga is for everybody.
Okay. And I see you real stylish today. I like your necklace. Can you stand up so we can see your outfit you have on?
Yeah, I love fashion. Like,
here we are, fashion model as well.
I wish. I'm short though. I'm only 5'1". So,
nice.
Modeling isn't for us short people, as they say in the industry. Gotta be like 5'6".
Got you. And how did you get to a point where you started incorporating your yoga with art? Were you always an artist originally, and how did you become a painter?
So I think I've always been an artist in a variety of ways. When I was younger, I used to write poems a lot.
Okay, so you're a writer. We got writer as well.
I would go home like after a bad day, and I would journal, I would write, and it would be like kind of my escape. Gotcha. So I think in a sense, I've always had some type of like artistic like capability within me. Yeah. And then I like I said, I kind of went through like ebbs and flows of like really highs and really lows as far as depression goes. And I was doing a lot of research on like different forms of therapy. Gotcha. And I found out that art was a form of therapy, like art therapy. Yeah. And to be honest, I just merged the two. It was really just like, I discovered this, I love this, and I love like body paint. I think I was on Pinterest one day and I saw somebody like in body paint, and I literally was just like, I'm just gonna see how this works. And this was in like 2015. 2015, I created my very first piece of yoga art. And from there, it was really just something I was doing for myself. Like I had a friend that would let me use like an extra bedroom, and I would just go there and lay down a big ass like drop cloth and do my little thing. And no one knew that I was doing this. It was just something that I was doing for myself. It was my form of therapy. And it's just something that now I'm like, all right, I'm gonna let my baby out to the world. Because, you know, when you do certain things that are very personal, you're not always ready to show it to other people. But now I feel like it's something that a lot of other people can benefit from, because it's highly therapeutic. It's very different. Yoga itself is therapeutic, but when you add the art element to it and you see that you can create something, you know, from yoga and from movement, it just gives you a really different sense of gratification to see that you've kind of taken whatever you were going through in your practice, right? Because when you go to your mat, when it comes to yoga, sometimes you go to your mat and you're having an amazing day. Sometimes you're having a shitty day. And yoga is your salvation to change that. And when you can step away and see that you created a piece of art from that shitty day or from that great day, it gives you like a really different like sense of gratification and just happiness. So yeah.
So basically with art, our emotions and our feelings basically helps us create art.
Definitely.
Either negativity, positivity, what you're feeling, that actually helps you create different masterpieces.
Definitely does.
And I see you have a masterpiece with us today, right now. Yes. Can you show us basically this painting you have and give us a little backstory about this particular painting?
Yes. So I call this piece Goddess. So what I will say, a little bit of a backstory as to how I create my paintings. I generally journal when I do yoga and paint based off of whatever my feelings are like for the day when I go into that flow. So some of my paintings are going to be different just depending on what the mood is.
Gotcha.
This is highly saturated, and I created this with the idea of really channeling my goddess energy, like that divinity, that feminine, that divine feminine energy that all of us possess, but really like my girls, my females. And if you know anything about the different goddesses, Yemaya, the goddess of water, is something that I've been super connected to. And so when I created this, I kind of was channeling the ocean. And, you know, when you think about the ocean, it's vast, it's huge, it's powerful, but it's also very calm. And I feel like a lot of females possess that quality, right? Like we are divine beings and we have such powerful forces within us, but at the same time, we are calm and we are gentle when we need to be. And if you can hone in on that power, you can use it like masterfully. So that's kind of what this piece embodies. It's one of my favorite pieces. I love the colors, the saturation of it.
Beautiful. So where can they find your artwork, see your artwork?
So right now I'm in the process of having my website built out. There is a landing page for it. It's thepaintedyogi.com. If you want to contact me, you can go to my website, hit the contact me button, and it'll give you a form to reach out to me and contact me that way. My social media is the same, The Painted Yogi. So you can find me on Instagram at The Painted Yogi. You can email me, Chantana at thepaintedyogi.com. And then, of course, my website at The Painted Yogi. So you can reach me however you want.
Okay, wonderful.
Thank you.
Thanks for sharing that with us.
Yeah, thank you.
And do you have any upcoming projects that we don't know about yet, or will you be anywhere?
Yeah, I'm right now working on incorporating myself more into the art world. I have an art show coming up in June here in Atlanta in Little Five Points. Anybody that knows Atlanta and knows Little Five Points, that's kind of like the artist area. That's where you find a lot of eclectic people, different artists. A lot of stuff goes on in Little Five Points. So there's an art show that I'm doing there in June. And then of course, you know, I'm branching out more. Like I said, this was something that I held near and dear to my heart. It wasn't until last year that I finally decided that I was going to open it up to the world. So I'm branching out and slowly releasing different pieces in different places. I am hopeful. I was contacted by a curator in New York for an art show, and I submitted my stuff and was selected, and I'm just waiting to kind of hear back to see when that art show is going to officially launch. But once it launches, I'll be in New York for that as well.
Great.
Yeah.
So you say you're a certified instructor. Is there anywhere where you do classes? Can people, how do they actually join your classes to follow you and et cetera in the yoga world?
Yeah, so if you are interested in actually taking a painted yoga class, you can. They are so much fun. I've had amazing groups of women come through and just have a full-on party. They come in all white. And I have all the canvases, all the paint, the yoga mats, and we go through a full flow together. And at the end, you have a beautiful canvas that you can leave with me to create a really cool memento from, or you can take it with you and display it, you know, on your wall at home or however you want to do it. But you can reach me the same way. I have a couple of people that are planning yoga paint parties right now. But I'm open all summer to anybody that wants to do a yoga paint party. You can reach out to me on Instagram at the Painted Yogi. You can, of course, go to my website, contact me on my website, www.thepaintedyogi.com. And of course, you can email me. But the paint parties are so much fun.
Wow, man.
They're so much fun.
We'll join you in one of those paint parties.
Yes. And it's beautiful just to see groups of women, all different sizes, shapes, colors come together and then create these beautiful masterpieces, all these colors and spirited women. It's a ton of fun. So
beautiful.
Yeah.
And where do you see yourself in the next 5 years?
In the next 5 years, I want to be in another country on the beach somewhere.
Speaking of countries, I follow you. I've noticed you travel a lot.
Yes.
And I mean, every time when I check your page, you're in a different country or state. You know, tell us a little bit about that. Is traveling some kind of a relief or something? Does it help with?
You know, travel. So I grew up in Cleveland. And if you know anything about Cleveland, they call it the mistake on the lake. Everybody got all these jokes about Cleveland. But I left at 17 and I went to school in Virginia, and that was the first ocean that I've been around. And I fell in love with the fact that, you know, being a broke college student, I could go to the beach for free. And I loved just like being by the water and kind of like that peace and calmness that it brought to me. And from there, when I came here, just like changing different states opened travel up to me, and then getting a passport and realizing that I can hop on a flight and in 2 hours I can experience a totally different world of people, you know, and learn different cultures and people and traditions. And I think it's beautiful to connect with different people, but also like to teach people about who you are as well as learn about who they are. So travel is just something that I feel like it's a part of my evolution. It continues to grow me as a person, and it continues to teach me so much more about myself. And I feel like I also have the opportunity with travel to teach other people. Yeah,
there's a lot of people who are reluctant on traveling, and they don't want to really get out of that box to see the world. So what do you have to say, since you have been traveling? I mean, I don't know where you've been recently. Yeah. But let them know, like, what have you seen?
So I've been to a lot of different places. Like I said, I lived in Asia for a little bit. I traveled in between Thailand, Indonesia, Malaysia, and Singapore. Wow. I actually received my yoga certification in Cuba. So I lived in Cuba for a summer.
Yeah.
But what I will say,
in the world.
And I just got back from Turkey.
And you came back from Turkey, okay.
But what I will say to people who are reluctant or apprehensive when it comes to travel is just try it. Don't allow societal norms and implications to sway kind of your view on different countries, because the propaganda that's kind of put into the news in America will have you with the mindset that there are certain countries that are not necessarily for us or for Americans. But what I will say, as a Black female traveler, I have been received amazingly in so many other countries, better than I have here in the States. There are countries in this world that love Black people, that welcome us with open arms, that love Black women and, you know, Hispanics and just all races. There are different countries that welcome us all and are excited to see us and receive us. And the treatment and experiences that you get from travel, it's life-changing and it's priceless to me. It's, to me, outside of art, it's one of the best ways to spend your money.
Got you.
Yeah.
And there's always rules to success all over. You can find, you know, everybody has their own rules of success, rules to success. What are your rules to success?
Man, stay true to who you are. Honor yourself, even if you are evolving and learning yourself. Honor who you are and don't allow yourself to, don't stunt your growth by adapting the principles of other people. Be 100% yourself and honor yourself, but also understand that hard work, it like you can't escape the hard work that goes into being able to create your own success, and that requires self-discipline. And without self-discipline, there's self-disappointment. Like, you literally cannot be mad at anybody else about your personal success if you don't have the discipline that's required for it.
Yeah, I agree totally. You know, there's a lot of people end up blaming him, her, you know, for their own downfalls in life or what it is, but it comes a point where you have to take accountability for your own life. You know, grab it by the reins and do what you got to do.
You do. And even if you don't know what you're doing, trying at something is better than not trying, right? And any little bit of progress is always going to be better than not putting forth the effort, or not putting forth the effort because you're focused on perfection. Any little bit of progress is going to be better than doing nothing. So just do something every day.
Nice, do something. You got to do something. That's what I'm telling the younger generation these days. Everyone just wants to take it easy. You know, life ain't gonna wait for you, and life is not gonna make your life. You have to take life and basically make what you can out of it. You know what I mean?
You do. 100%.
Someone always told me life doesn't have a plan for you. I mean, you have to have a plan basically to do something and create life or what you've been given, basically.
You're right.
And if you can go back 10 years to your younger self and give her advice on life, love, business, what advice would you give her?
The advice that I would give my younger self is so much. This girl made some mistakes. My biggest point of advice for my younger self would be to take your time.
Take your time.
I think for myself, I rushed certain decisions.
Okay.
And I think being able to see now that stepping back and really assessing certain things before making decisions is more important than being quick to the trigger. Yeah. And
going to a political question, we just recently had a verdict on the George Floyd case. We had a guilty on all charges. And how do you feel about that verdict? And how do you feel about is this a step forward into the right direction for police reform? Basically, what's your opinion on all of that's going on right now?
So I definitely 100% agree with the verdict. A guilty verdict, I think, was the only verdict, you know. But as far as if it's a step in the right direction for police reform, I think police reform, the key to police reform is not having to have these trials where somebody died. You know, like, a guilty verdict is great, but what would be even better is if George Floyd didn't have to die for a guilty verdict. You know what I'm saying? So I think there's a lot more to be done when it comes to police reform. I pray that, you know, his family is able to receive a certain level of peace and able to continue their lives in the best way that they can without the presence of this man. But as far as police reform, I think that there is a lot more to be done. I think police officers have a duty to their society that for some reason over these past like decades or however long, they don't really resonate with. I feel like it's kind of like out the window, like that they don't understand that their duty is to the communities and the people that they serve. So I think we have a long way to go, but there's no other verdict in that trial, in my opinion.
Right now, being a devil's advocate, I mean, the police do have a hard job dealing with all the element they deal with on the streets. So we saw how George Floyd acted initially, etc. We saw how most black people act initially. What advice would you give any young black male or woman being pulled over, and even if they're right or wrong, what advice would you give them behavior-wise and all that dealing with the police? Should they fight, kick, pull, push, or should they be more compliant and deal with the officer, and eventually if the officer's wrong, you know, they can always sue, or they can always do whatever for wrongful arrest, or should they fight at the moment like they've been doing? What do you think?
You know, it's hard to give that type of advice, right? Because you don't really know until you're in those situations, right? As Black people, we have the conversations, we're giving kind of like the cues on what to do, keep your hands, you know, like all that stuff. But you look at so many different cases and it's a wide variety of behaviors, right? Like there's some people that were sleeping that are now dead. You know what I'm saying? So it's really hard to even give advice on that because the outcome, regardless of the behaviors, have been the same in so many cases. So honestly, I don't know what to tell my people in those situations. What I myself try to do if I am in a situation where I'm confronted with a police officer is, you know, I just try to remain as calm as possible, speak as clearly as possible, of course, and stay as visible as possible. But again, I mean, there are thousands of people that have done those exact same things that are not here with us today. So it's hard to say.
Okay. And what or who or what inspires you or inspired you growing up and inspires you today?
Man, this is a tough question.
Is there any single person or was there a single moment in life?
So I can't say that I have a single person that inspired me as a child. I experienced death and grief at a very young age from somebody that was very significant in my family. And I think that molded certain things within me as far as being able to move past certain negativities, which is why it's really easy for me to stay a positive person. So I would say there are more experiences in my life that have influenced and inspired me versus people.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what kind of legacy do you want to leave behind?
Legacy. You know, I hear a lot of people, I don't have children, and I hear a lot of people talk about wanting their children to pass on their legacy. And I think that that's a beautiful thing, but I also feel like there are a lot of people in this world creating legacies for other people to carry. And I want my legacy to be something that everybody can adapt and carry on, right? Like I want to be able to influence a mass amount of people, a mass amount of men, a mass amount of women, a mass amount of people in different countries and all over that can say amazing things about me, that can say that I've inspired them to do X, Y, and Z to be a better person. You know, I want my legacy to be influence on any and everybody.
Okay.
Yeah.
And is there anything that you haven't done yet that you plan on doing, that you want to do?
Hell yeah, it's probably a ton of shit that I haven't done and I plan on doing. I'm all about experience, like I said. So, and that is the beauty of life, right? That's the beauty of evolution and just learning different things. So I'm a very open person. Okay. I'm a very like,
you be jumping out of
let's
planes
try
and
it.
all that stuff?
I have, yes.
Okay, you have already. So there's probably nothing left that you haven't done. Climbed mountains yet?
I ain't climbed a mountain yet. I mean, like the fake ones that you just walk right up, but not, you know, not like scaling the side of a mountain. But no, I'm an adventurous person. So there are probably a ton of things that I don't know of as far as adventure goes that I would probably be open to because I like adventure.
And any regrets in life so far?
You know, I know it's cliche for people to say I don't have any regrets, but I'm a real person. There are regrets that I have in life, but you know, it is what it is. It's not anything. It molded you. You know, you grow from it. There are things that, of course, all of us wish, all right, maybe if I could take that back, I would, but realistically you can't. So you have to grow from it as best as you can and learn the lessons, you know, and move past it. So
got you.
Yeah.
And if there's one person that you could meet and have a sit down with, dead or alive, who would you want to meet?
Meet as in for the first time?
Yeah.
Damn, that's a tough one.
Just one person.
One person, dead or alive. In my mind right now, I'm thinking Prince.
Prince, okay.
Right. I grew up on Prince. I was always a Prince fan. I just thought he was like the coolest.
Yeah.
Super in tune. Super didn't care about what anybody else thought. Like, yeah.
Genius. Yeah.
Yeah. That's the name that popped in my brain. I'm probably gonna think of somebody else in a minute, but we're gonna say Prince right now.
Okay, nothing wrong with Prince. I love me some Prince.
Yeah.
And final question. What does be the model mean to you?
I love this question, and I've been thinking about it. So, I think for me, and this is something that you hear a lot of celebrities, right? Like when you think about like Little Kim, like in her heyday, and like Tupac, and everybody like, oh, you're supposed to be a role model to little kids, and you're showing your ass, or you're cussing, and you're raunchy, da 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 da. What I have learned about being the model, role model, whatever it is, you know, however you want to tag it, is that you are inspiring someone that's like you, right? So I'm not here to inspire Becky in the picket fence that has no correlation to me. I'm here to inspire the people that are similar to me, that need that push, that need that inspiration, that needs to know and understand your life can change, it can evolve, you can be whoever and whatever you want to be, right? Like being the model to individuals that connect to me, that don't even know they connect to me. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like there are moments in my life that I look back on and I'm like, damn, I had no idea that this was the girl, woman, lady that I would be today. Right? So it's to me, it's more so the influence that you have on those individuals that are similar, like-minded to you when they don't even know. So I don't know.
All right, that was well said. Perfectly well said. Being a model, inspiring others. You know, you never know who you're inspiring.
Right.
So living your life as a role model, you're gonna be like, you can be hitting all kind of different people from different angles, and people who are exactly like you. Like you said, somebody's gonna be inspired to your particular genre and what it is that you do.
Yes.
Well, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
We have the wonderful Painted Yogi here with us, Miss Chantana. Follow her on all her platforms, social media. Don't forget to follow her if you want to do the yoga.
Yes.
She's a certified yoga instructor. She has artwork for sale, paintings that she does.
Yes.
Body art, body work. If we miss anything?
No, yeah, it's 100% from my body. No brushes or anything are used on my paintings. It is a culmination of my mind, body, and spirit. So if you're interested in any paintings, pictures, t-shirts, hit me up. If you're interested in taking a yoga paint and flow class with me, I would love to have you and just have a great time with you. So you can message me at the Painted Yogi on Instagram. You can find me at my website, www.thepaintedyogi.com. And you can email me, Chantana at thepaintedyogi.
Nice. And don't forget to hit that bell. Subscribe to Be The Model on YouTube for all our episodes. Definitely check out Miss Chantana. Follow her on Instagram, like we said. Be great, be unique, be the artist, and be the model. All right.
Thank you. That was fun.